Hi everyone, Az here from HeelvsBabyface. A lot of people have been asking, Az, why aren't you doing videos on Classic WoW? Why aren't you showing us things on Classic WoW? Why aren't you streaming Classic WoW? Simple fact of the matter is, folks, I haven't been invited to the Classic WoW beta testing. Now, I could use excuses and say, you know, you've got to have an active subscription, apparently, to qualify. And I don't have an active subscription. But I do have a YouTube channel, of course, and I do have a contact at Blizzard, and they haven't been in touch, and they haven't given us access. Shocked Pikachu face. Ah! He says some nasty things about us, and we don't like him. But the irony is, of course, that I've been invited to every single alpha testing for every expansion since Mr. Pandaria. And I'm clearly not a fan of the modern day WoW. I think it's tripe, and particularly BFA. I think I gave it the lowest score of any expansion at an 8, on a 0.0 patch, simply because of I could see exactly what it was from the outset, and I knew people were going to drop off this like woof. And boy, did it happen. But I have been really positive about Classic WoW since its announcement at BlizzCon 2017. And then when I actually played it at during the BlizzCon period at 2018, it was just awesome. It was just so good to have a WoW that felt as if it had a consequence. The world felt dangerous. Mobs felt dangerous. Your utility, you had to manage. Your mana, everything had to be... put it this way. It felt as if I was actually in an MMORPG again with the World of Warcraft. Because right now, when I play WoW, I just feel as if I'm going through a loot simulator, where there's nothing in the outside world that's going to cause you any problems. Nothing's difficult. You could be really low level and murk people. You could be really high level and murk people. And I'm talking mobs. You know, there's no exploration. There's no sort of shock or surprise. There's nothing really investing your time and effort in. Everything's repetitive. So it's just a really miserable experience. But when I went to Westfall, because I believe that's where the Alliance side was for the test at BlizzCon, and I was grounded, of course, you can't fly, and it just felt as if I was in a dangerous world. It felt as if I tried to get a little bit too big for my britches, I could get myself into a whole lot of trouble. And I think, one-on-one should be okay. 2-on-1, you're going to have a fight, maybe okay. 3-on-1, run, bitch, run! Certainly with the Warlock anyway. And just seeing those, that when you're casting a spell and just seeing that mana bar just literally get eaten as you're using mana. Seeing yourself getting hit by a sword from an NPC and actually seeing health go off you. It was just like, what is this? I have not experienced this for about 10 years. And so it was just such a better experience. So yeah, I don't know if I would have played too much anyway, because I want to save myself for the official launch. But that said, in all honesty, I very much doubt I would have been able to resist temptation. And one of the reasons why is what I want to talk about now, is the popularity that Classic has brought back to the World of Warcraft. It has flipped things on its head. And I also want to address a couple of points, because we've got the really weird thing, right? I know I'm going off at all different tangents, but people who follow me from World of Warcraft stuff, they'll be able to kind of like understand what I'm going through here. The really weird thing is, I've heard like just positive things, articles coming out, positive things, Twitch people who said Classic's going to be shit, suddenly realised they can make a lot of money streaming this, and then they've started making videos going, I was wrong all along. Classic WoW's actually really good. Can we get some subscriptions and tips and donations now, please? But fair enough. It's their living, whatever. They're shills anyway. But it's just been positive. The only negative that I've heard about Classic WoW, and you never guess where it's going to come from, is from the World of Warcraft loyalists, from the actual players of the game, the people who have stuck with the horrendous battle for Azeroth. That's the only place that I've actually heard. When I say criticism, it just comes across more like moodiness and spite, to be perfectly honest with you. But that's the only place. Everywhere else, there seems to be such a vastly positive attitude towards Classic, towards the game, towards how it used to be. And on top of that, you have to understand that people like, because I've heard the argument of, well, the only reason why it's doing well is because Asmongold and Sodapoppin are streaming it. That's the only reason why. Well, there's a little bit of truth in that, but do you know something else? Do you know why they're streaming it? Because they're loving it. Asmongold wouldn't be streaming WoW constantly like he is streaming Classic WoW. He got very disillusioned and he split his time. He would go off and play other games, Dark Souls games, whatever. He'd play other stuff and then come back and do WoW every now and again. So he kept his core audience happy with his WoW stuff, but he'd do other stuff. Now, all his attention is on Classic. Whereas it wouldn't be before. It would be elsewhere. Same with Sodapoppin. He'll do other things elsewhere all the time. But since the Classics come out, boosh! This is the game that he's wanted to play for a lot of years. And so they are dragging their audiences back to the product. So you can dismiss it as, well, it's just two big streamers bringing loads of people in. But the fact of the matter is, they're doing it because they want to do it. Because they can do other things and still get tens of thousands of people watching them. But they're doing it, they're loving it, they're getting people interested in it, they're getting people psyched for it. And this is only positive for Classic WoW. And the thing is, even when Sodapoppin's not playing, or even when Asmongold's not playing, it's still rammed full of people playing Classic. You could just look through. I've got on the other screen here, you don't need to see this, but on the other screen here I've got Twitch open right now. And unless it's Method who's actually streaming, and they tend to stream the current stuff, it's, for the most part, 90% plus probably Classic, 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 Classic. And you've got people like S-Fan doing great numbers. People like Towley, of course, will keep their numbers up. Then you got Tips, who's been a big Classic guy. He's suddenly getting really good numbers of people watching him for the Classic stuff. So people who have been very Classic centric for a long time, who really, and I say this with respect, I don't say this with any disrespect, who really haven't had an audience to produce content for, because you're not allowed to produce content on private servers. You're not allowed to stream private servers and stuff like that. Suddenly now have an outlet to do that with the legitimate Classic WoW stuff. And that, of course, brings their audiences in. And because these guys are so knowledgeable when it comes to the older version of the game, this is something that I am not. They're very technically minded when it comes to it. I'm just like, I like the pretty flowers and how stuff hurts when it hits you. They are bringing in people, and they are educating their audiences with the knowledge that they have of the Classic product. And so that in itself, again, is just going to bring more and more people in. People who are excited about a World of Warcraft that is back to its essentially glory days. Now, going through the list, I can scroll down and it's just riddled with Classics and Classics and Classics and Classics and Classics. And then the other day when we had the stress test, and this is what this is here. This is when the stress test was on. Nearly 200,000 people watching. When the stress test came on, just the amount of fun that there seemed to be. Loads of people in a small concentrated area. Blizzard throwing bosses at them. Throwing Raggy out there and stuff like that. And it just felt like those fun times again. And it just reminded me of some of the fun times that we had in testing when they would just start bringing in Kazakhs and stuff like that, and just big, huge bosses into the cities just to cause trouble, or just to bring them in and make them non-attackable, just to have them there. All these great little things. It just felt communal again. In a game that has been so fractured for so long, where you do seem now to have your WoW loyalists and your WoW classics. Literally two major factions of WoW players. People are resentful that the new product, the current product, I should say, is not being accepted. And the classic, the older version, the version which this version wouldn't exist without. So the resentment is just like mind-boggling. Resentful that people want to play the old product again. And also I think there is ego within Blizzard Entertainment that they have been reluctant to do this for so long, because they were fearful that the popularity, the potential popularity of classic WoW would overshadow their current product, and it would show the current product for what it is: non-engaging, non-interesting, and not able to maintain an audience, whereas the classic stuff has got people excited again, it's got people interested again, and it's getting very high numbers and very high consistent numbers currently on Twitch. Now, there is an argument which people are putting out there, of course, which is this could be, you know, a fad, in as much as it could be everyone's interested, but once it releases, see what it's like in 6 months' time. I hear that. I hear that, because I do believe that when Classic WoW starts, there's going to be a lot of excitement, a lot of people jump in, and then there is going to be a lot of people who realise it ain't for them. Oh, this is tougher, this is harder. Oh, I've got to really manage my resources. Oh, I've got to sit down and drink and eat and get my health back. And oh, I want my quality of life. Why can't I just teleport? Why can't I have a dungeon finder? Why can't I do this? So there is going to be that sort of audience, but that sort of audience is an audience which clearly has joined the game probably post-Cataclysm, post-Mr. Pandaria, and therefore they haven't experienced what made WoW great, what made those first three titles, WoW, Burning Crusade, and Wrath of the Lich King, the pillars of gaming MMO that they were. But I'll just end the video with this. It's incredible to think that the person that came out on stage at BlizzCon and said, you think you want classic, but you don't. The person who dismissed the community and what they truly wanted and what they wanted to experience is now running the show. Scary, hey? But the good news is classic is coming. It's popular. It's getting people excited. There's a release date. I got a feeling it's going to do very well, people. I really do. And I'm looking forward to getting my feet into it. Feet into it? What the hell does that mean? I'm looking forward to getting my teeth into it. Maybe some feet. Maybe some fingers too. Probably on release, because I don't think Blizzard are going to let me until then. Shot Pikachu face again. So I hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, do get a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media and Twitch for live streaming. Links there in the description box down below. And I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care. Bye for now.